So I've been playing Throne and Liberty for the better part of the last couple of days since the actual launch, and I have been tanking like a boss as I usually do in most games. And as someone who is fully free to play and with over a 2000 gear score, I want to show you guys how to make a proper tank build in Throne and Liberty so that you can complete pretty much every bit of content in the game. There's so much to learn about this game, and it's actually one of the funnest MMOs I played in a very long time, but let me show you how to make the best tanking build in Throne and Liberty. Let's begin. For full transparency, I am a full free-to-play player. As you guys can probably tell, I spend a lot of time playing the market. If you are a Warframe player, then you'll know how it is, but this is basically functionally the same way. I want to leave that bit of disclaimer because I know there's a lot of builds out there who paid for things. This is a full-fledged free-to-play through everything. I'm just playing the market. If you guys want to know a video on how to make money, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I'll show you how to make a lot of cash. Anyway, we are on my character screen now, and I'm going to go over the build, the gear, and things like that. I'm sitting at 2075 combat score. I started about 4 days ago, so I am fairly new, full free to play as I said in the intro. And yeah, let's quickly go over the spec. So I wanted to start with gear, I guess. So we're going to be using pretty much HP and endurance based gear. As you can see with our stats right now, we have okay hit chance, we have 1500 range defense, 1300 magic defense, 1649 physical defense or melee defense. Really good. We have a rare sword and shield. This is like one of my worst pieces. And then obviously on the other we have a great sword because we do use a great sword. Got this bad boy last night. For our gear pieces, we're using the heroic helmet of the resistance with a range endurance. We haven't really min-maxed any of that out yet, by the way, but that's what we're using. We have the warlord shroud. This is giving us some HP regen and debuff duration negative, so we can get those debuffs away, and some hit chance, which actually is pretty valuable in this build. We're rocking the plate armor of resistance. We actually been farming the zombie area, and we got 2 pieces, so we upgraded it. We're actually going to be swapping off to this one in the future because we just got it, but this is what we're using now, prioritizing HP and endurance. On our gloves, we've got the Resolute Commander gauntlets. I farmed this in the Shadow Abyss, the Crypt Abyss, whatever it's called, area. This drops like hotcakes there. You can get one of these, prioritizing HP as well as attack speed, which is really valuable. We have the Trouser of Resistance, max HP, melee evasion, HP regeneration, some decent tanking stats. For our boots, we have the Glaze Stalker boots, hit chance, max HP with a trait of max HP. You'll notice in this build there's a lot of HP. For our worst piece on our character, we have Necklace of Vitality. We crafted this, maximum HP, stun resistance, once again more max HP. We have the Kazite Bangle, I don't know how to say that. We have max HP, silence resistance, bind resistance. That's going to give us a lot of utility so we don't get stunned a lot, and once again more max HP. For our ring, we have this ring, Robert's Ring of Focus. I think you can actually get this from just doing the story. I upgraded this quite a bit to 9. I'm going to be making a swap to this Platinum Skull Ring in a bit because we did get a maximum HP and a maximum HP trait, which is actually pretty nice for the build. And then we have an Abyssal Grace Band. This thing is worthless, but it's epic, so we upgraded it. The mana is actually not too bad. The mana cost efficiency is okay, even though we don't run out. Attack speed is good, and sleep chance is whatever. And then for the belt, we have the Belt of Combat Prowess, which gives us melee defense, melee evasion, and some bind resistance, actually contributing to our tankiness. We're sitting at 39 strength, 19 dex, 30 perception. We could actually drop this lower, but I think I'm getting most of this from equipment, which is this sword. Can't really do anything about that. Ideally that would be strength, but I have an epic, so I'm not bitching about it. Now that we're done with the equipment, let's move on to our skills. And one thing you'll notice about my build is it's very focused on tanking as well as dealing some damage while also giving some utility to other your other friends. So the first thing we're going to be using is Willbreaker. What Willbreaker does is a AoE of it's really negligible damage, but the reason for this is it applies weakens that decrease melee range and magical defense for 450 for 6 seconds. And what this basically does is it's a debuffer to some degree. It makes it so your allies actually deal more damage. You're kind of in the early stages of the game right now, and if you're tanking, a lot of your DPS are relatively low DPS or running around with a sword and shield pretending to be a DPS. So right now I think it's really important to give your allies the ability to amp their damage, and so we're going to be using Will Breaker to do that. We're going to get damage area change as well as aggro increase, so we can maintain aggro, and this is going to give us more AoE. So that's what we're using for our first skill. Moving on, we're picking up Stunning Blow. The reason why we're using Stunning Blow is very simple. There's a lot of enemies in the game that will do like really dangerous attacks that you want to like stop them. The Arbiters specifically, I remember those that will do a lot of it. So we got cooldown reduction, aggro increase, as well as hit chance on this, so we can guarantee that we hit this, because it's really vital to hit things and stun them and get things off of you. Next, we're going to be picking up Guillotine Blade. The reason we're getting this is for two reasons. First, it applies weakens that makes them take less, like get less healing, and most importantly, this gives you damage. Damage is really important because you're not doing anything else. Like tanking is not that hard. You press two buttons and you just punch. So having you deal some okay damage here and there is actually going to contribute to actually killing things. Again, DPS is low on a lot of your allies, so having the ability to actively deal damage is going to help quite a bit. Next, we're going to be picking up Strategic Rush. The reason why we're getting Strategic Rush is for mobility. You will need a mobility skill. A lot of things in this game requires you to like move in like really quick bursts, and this is actually really good because it also has a stun effect when you hit things into the wall. So this is going to help you like stun, because that's a bit of your utility. And most importantly, you have collision on this as well, which is going to synergize really well with your morale boost, which is going to reset your cooldowns, or lower your cooldowns, not reset, sorry. And this is also going to just help your cooldown management, because some of your skills can be a little bit long. Next, we're going to be picking up Da Vinci's Courage. What this does is a AoE heal that's going to heal you and your allies within 15 meters. You're going to deal some HP regen, and you're going to get 15% attack speed to you and the party, which means once again you're buffing your allies and making them stronger, because a tank in this game is actually really good at buffing. Next, we're going to be picking up Devastating Smash. You're going to jump to enemies, which is actually one of the best parts of that. You can jump to enemies, which get you in position, but also this has a stun to it. I have pretty decent chance of stunning with this as you upgrade this, but you will have a 50% chance to stun. This isn't going to be as reliable as your other stuns, but it's pretty decent when you need to deal stuns to two enemies or something, because you do run into those situations. So I really like having this as a secondary, or honestly a fourth stun basically with this build. Next, we're going to be picking up Cleaving Roar. This is just your standard taunt. You're going to add Cleaving Roar and cooldown. You don't need the Cleaving Roar. I like it because it just gives better AoE and more damage, but kind of do whatever you want with this one. Just make sure you have the cooldown and then use this. And this is going to be your primary taunt. It's really strong taunt, so it's good. Next, we're going to use Counter Barrier. This is going to increase your shield blocking chance by 20% for 6 seconds. And if you use a skill that does evading, blocking, or anything like that, you'll do a counter attack for 250% of the damage reduction, which is actually, I don't think that important. I think the defense is important here, so that's whatever. Next, we're going to be getting Stalwart's Bastion with focus on affect target, and what this does is it converts it from being able to help your allies to help you, and this just gives you a mountain of damage reduction for 9 seconds. You hardly ever use this skill, but this is your oh shit button. If you're about to die, you press this, and this will give your healer time to actually start playing the game. So this is what this is for. This is purely your oh shit button for yourself. That's what you're saving it for. Next, we're going to be getting Piercing Strike. I cannot stress enough how much of a difference this skill is when it is your functional aggro drawing thing. I ran multiple builds without this, and it is impossible to keep aggro when you have high DPS characters in your party. Piercing Strike is mandatory on any tanking build. It sucks because I want to use other things, but you have to use it in my opinion. This one's really strong. We're going to use Piercing Strike because this is going to do like an AoE cleave, make it easier for you to taunt. And then we're going to use aggro increase again to increase it. This skill does a ton of aggro. It's really important to make sure you do not go with it. Next, we're going to be using Blessing of Immortality. This is one of your strongest skills in the game, and this is going to be functionally used to help your allies significantly. This with Blessing of Immortality and health regen is going to put a 12% max health shield on your allies for 6 seconds. I don't know if this is 12% of your HP or 12% of their HP whenever they do it. I don't know how that functionally works, but this is going to help your allies stay alive because it's going to give regen, ton of HP. It's really nice. And then finally, we're going to be picking up Annihilating Slash. What this does is if enemies are weakened, which you have the ability to do so, this is going to increase the damage. And also whenever you hit things, it's going to reduce the cooldown. And honestly, the reason why I use this is just functionally for extra AoE damage. I still think you should be contributing damage to fights, and this is going to be the best way. I know some people really like using the chain hook. I don't like it that much. I feel like, you know, I have other things and enough things to kind of deal with aggro. You can swap to chain hook if you want it instead of Annihilating Slash, but I still think that having a little bit of damage is actually really useful. Other than that, that's the build. Let's move on to the passives. For passives, we're going to be picking up Skillful Evasion. This is going to just give us like evasion for magic and range. Pretty straight up, straightforward, and simple. Next, we're going to be using Resilient Mind. All this does is it just gives you the ability to sustain mana when you use a block or a skill that blocks, and you'll get a little bit of HP as well. And this is going to be one of your major sustainers. You'll notice that you will never run out of mana. You do not need mana on this build. I'm all rare, so maybe that changed when you get to epic, but so far mana has not been a problem in any way, shape, or form with this build. We're going to get Aegis Shield. This is going to increase your magic and range and melee defense by 6 per 1% of block chance, and also increase your shield reduction, damage reduction by 2.5%. This is just straight up defense, so whenever you have good block, which you'll do from like other things, is really nice. Next, we're getting Victor's Morale. This is going to just restore health and mana whenever you deal damage. Once again, we don't have mana issues, and so this is part of the reason why. This class is actually really like mana sustaining, really nice. Next, we're going to be picking up Morale Boost. We talked about this a second ago. Whenever you do collision, you'll you'll lower your cooldowns by 14%, and then you'll get more residual cooldown for doing more collision stuff. So this is really nice for cooldown management. Next, you're going to get Impenetrable. This is going to give you magic, melee, and range resistance depending on how many enemies like surround you, so it's really nice. And more enemies mean more like defense, so it's really good. Next, we're going to be picking up Robust Constitution. This is going to increase your max HP and HP regen. I actually think it's a really good skill, and it's one of the first you get, so it's really nice. And then finally, we're going to pick up Indomitable Armor. Taking damage, this is going to just give you the ability to possibly get more melee defense for 2 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. You're going to be getting hit a lot, and so this is going to actually go a long way in tanking. For our weapon mastery, for the greatsword, we're just kind of going to the bottom. I don't actually use the greatsword for defense. I kind of use it for offense, but just take all the bottom row stuff. Not really too much going on here. What's actually really important is on your sword and board, because this is going to give you like a lot of stuff. We're going to take the top stuff: melee defense, HP regen. Does this do? Weaken chance. This is going to give you more HP, more evasion. This is going to give you shield block chance, and then we're going to get more buff duration. You're actually going to pick up these two because they're actually really big. And then from there, I guess I'll do another build in the future. Not sure where I would go. Probably something like this at the bottom. There's like DR and max HP stuff here. You can kind of go one of these two. Honestly, this tree is actually really good. Just kind of go what you want here. I'm going top, but I feel like when I look at all this stuff, I just want everything. I want it all. And there you have it, guys. That is my tanking build in Throne and Liberty. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the build, what you would change differently if you've used it. Also, let me know down in the comments as well what you would like to see added to this video. I haven't done a Throne and Liberty video. I haven't done an MMO in like forever. I think the last MMO I covered was like Lost Ark or something. I guess the First Descendant kind of counts, but yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me know, guys, what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want to see more Throne and Liberty, and I'll see you guys in the next video very soon. Later.